I'm Dr. Jacobi Cleaver.
And I'm Dr. Jacob Wilson.
And we are the OD'ing on Movies podcast.
We're two practicing optometrists who love movies, and we found a way to combine our two loves into one podcast.
We pick a movie, we watch it, we break it down while incorporating the optometry elements.
So grab your favorite movie theater snack and let's get started.
I'm Dr. Jacobi Cleaver here along with Dr. Jacob Wilson, and we are back for season 2 of the OD'ing on Movies podcast. And we're going to kick it off. We're going to kick it off the only way we know how to kick it off. And we're going to start with Anaconda.
Anaconda.
I probably wouldn't have gone to see this had it not been for Dr. Wilson making the recommendation. So
wait, really?
Yeah. You know, I was looking, just doing a little bit of research, and this is the 6th Anaconda film. Did you know that?
Well, I did know that, but it's only the first one was the real deal, right? That was Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, John Voight. I think Owen Wilson in it.
He was in it.
Yeah. And the second one is kind of cool too. But then the third, fourth, and fifth one, they all are like sci-fi, straight to DVD, TV movies type of thing. And then this one is kind of a reboot of the whole thing. Well, it's a parody of, not a parody, but it's very meta. It's not.
Yeah,
really
I really like the approach that they took with it because like I said, I watched. I think the first Anaconda came out in 96 or 97, something like that. So it's been a little while from the initial debut, but even in watching this, I don't think you have to watch the other ones to appreciate this one, right?
No, you really don't, because they even explain some of the key plot points of the first one during this one. So it's pretty good. You know, one of my earliest. Let me move my microphone closer. One of my earliest movie memories is my mom and my stepdad watching a movie. They thought I had already gone to bed, and I came out and I walked behind the couch. And they were watching Anaconda, and it was right when John Voight gets spit up by the anaconda, and it's all nasty and gross. And I was traumatized by that.
It's because you should have been in bed, man.
You're right. It was my fault. You know.
So my brother and I used to do the same thing. Our parents sent us to bed, would come up, kind of creep behind the couch and catch and see what they're watching. And now that you brought that up, I remember the movie that they were watching was either Harlem Nights or Coming to America. It was something starring Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm sure they'll get a kick out of
that. Yeah, I always remember. But it ended up being Anaconda and, creature features are my favorite type of movie. And Anaconda ended up being one of my favorite movies later on. And then back in 2021, my wife Jenny and I, we went on a fan boat tour in the swamps of New Orleans, or near New Orleans, like Louisiana down there.
Right.
And we ended up getting taken to the area where they shot the final scene of Anaconda. The 90s.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a picture of that. Maybe we can post that on the pod of when Jenny and I went to that. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to task Kens with doing that, man. But you know, let's get into it, man. Like I said, I probably wouldn't have watched this under any other circumstance, but I'm glad you recommended it to me. I thought it was kind of fun and light, and it's starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd. So you know, those are two comedy type guys. So it worked out well for this.
Sure, and I have a new guest that's going to join me on our podcast now. I got a Christmas present.
Oh, sweet!
It's a model.
Hey, where'd you get that from, man?
My father-in-law. That's what he got me for Christmas.
Did he find it on Amazon?
I don't know. I bet he did. It's way more detailed than any of the ones I had in school.
Okay, yeah, cool. So for those, for those who are listening and not watching us on YouTube, Dr. Wilson is showing off a model of the eye, a pretty detailed model of the eye. It's pretty big too.
Yeah.
So we can refer to that whenever we need to. Yeah, there we go.
Like layered scleroid and sclera, conjunctiva, all the muscles and everything. I don't know where the cornea is at. I'll find it. It's in the box somewhere. You don't really need that one that much. Okay.
No, not for this. Not for this, man.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's jump in. Well, as soon as I saw Anaconda, like you said, I already knew there was 6 movies because I've watched even the dumb straight to video movies. Like anything with the word Anaconda in it, I was going to go watch it. But then when I saw it was going to be Jack Black and Paul Rudd, I was pretty excited. I knew it was going to be funny. I knew it was. I wasn't expecting it to be too serious at all, and it wasn't.
Right.
But I had some pretty big time laughs during the movie. It was
I agree.
Pretty funny. What was I really enjoyed though that they have this dream of like making movies, and when I was watching it, I was thinking so much about the podcast because what they're doing is going in and making a movie, and we see how that's made, and I was like, that's what we want to do, is we want to break down how movies are made and find out all the little secrets about them and all that. So it was cool. Basically, Jack Black and Paul Rudd, they're childhood friends who had made this funny movie as kids, and then Paul Rudd tells Jack Black and his friends that he gets the rights to Anaconda, and so now they're going to go and officially make a sequel, and they actually fly down to Brazil with their own little like film crew, which is just their friends and everything.
Yeah, and then just to back up just a little bit, the initial scenes we kind of get introduced to their characters, right? Well, the first scene of the movie opens up in Brazil, and there's kind of like this crazy chase going on between 2 groups of people, right?
Uh-huh.
And we'll kind of touch on that. We'll come back to that later on. But I wanted to really get onto the characters of Paul Rudd and Jack Black. So again, they're friends. They filmed this film. They did this film as kids, but at this point, Paul Rudd's character is kind of like a small time actor, right? And then Jack Black is like a wedding video editor, so to speak, right? And then,
like he tries to make like cool wedding videos and stuff.
Right. So this is they're still kind of in the realm of acting and movies, and everything, but he's just kind of taking different paths. But we'll be remiss if we don't mention the acting job that Paul Rudd's character had. He was supposed to be like a doctor in the ER setting.
Yep.
And he's checking the pupils of I can't remember. I think it's a male patient. And they come in and and right off the bat, was it a male patient or a female patient? But right off the bat, they just say optic neuritis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're like 3 minutes into the movies and they say optic neuritis. And that brings us to our first optometry educational point of the night of this episode, right? So, Jacob, what do you know about optic neuritis? Well, what does the audience need to know about optic neuritis?
Optic neuritis is going to be, what does the audience need to know? A personal experience is I have a very close family member who has multiple sclerosis. Okay. And that was actually how she was diagnosed, is she lost vision in her eye temporarily, had a lot of pain, couldn't move her eye and everything. So optic neuritis is inflammation of the optic nerve, swelling of the optic nerve in the back of the eye. It's very painful. It can causes a loss of vision, and usually vision comes back depending on what causes it. Would you say that's right?
I would say that's absolutely right. Now, multiple sclerosis or MS is usually associated with optic neuritis, but it's not the only cause of optic neuritis.
Right.
But when there's this I want to say unilateral eye pain, worse upon movements, usually in a youngish patient. Now, we probably wouldn't expect to see this in someone 50, 60, 70 years old. Usually a younger patient demographic. This usually requires a pretty emergent workup, I would say, right? Usually these patients, they do recover vision, but you have to do an intense high dose steroid course, usually given by IV in the hospital. And then after that, it's followed by an oral taper of steroids as well. But the good news about this is that vision is recovered. I do have a couple patients with MS who have had optic neuritis. But it may not be like the patient still see 20/20, but it's not 20/20 as it was before the episode, right? So that becomes a little frustrating in the patient. Like, well, like I'm telling them that they like you read the 2020 line and they say, well, doc, it's still kind of funny. And
Okay, yeah.
And you have to have the conversation. Well, the optic nerve has suffered some insult. It's been affected in some way. Now, even if you did recover vision, it may not be as good as it was before. But we kind of want to focus more so on the functional vision, right? I understand the frustration with me telling you that you see 20/20 and you say, but it's not as good as it was. Well, it's not going to be as good as it was because you suffered the optic neuritis episode. But in regards to that, Jacob, if this is the presenting sign of MS, we got to get these patients over to neuro so we can get some treatment on the MS, and we won't get into all the forms unless you want to MS, like the remitting, relapsing, and all the different forms of MS. But that can be very frustrating. We don't want to get to the point where we're having recurrent attacks of optic neuritis in the same eye, or by chance have optic neuritis attack
in the other
eye, right?
Well, and we're talking about they generally get vision back, but the longer that swelling lasts, the more optic nerve defects and field defects and things you could end up with. So, yeah, if I could say anything to young or any optometrist out there, if you don't see distinct margins on your optic nerve, and really look at that optic nerve, and what I mean by that is that you can see where the optic nerve ends and the retina starts. If you can't tell, you have to work that up and make sure it's not something serious. I had a young girl last week who optic nerves both looked swollen, and she had to spend about an extra 45 minutes with me, and we found out it was just optic nerve head drusen. And I said, I'm sorry to scare you, but we have to make sure that's all it is, because there's nothing good that causes swelling to the optic nerve.
No. So. And you mentioned optic nerve drusen. That is a pretty good differential for this. It'll give you the appearance that the nerve is blurred, or the margins are blurred, when in actuality there's something under the nerve that's kind of pushing it up, or buried drusen, so to speak, just kind of pushing up. But you have to rule these things out before you make the call. Like, does this patient need to go to the emergency room?
Right.
We do know that regardless of whatever modality you practice in, an emergency room visit can be very timely and costly. So, my advice is, I would love to send someone to the emergency room just to kind of be on the safe side of things, right? And then nothing comes back from that. But I also want to be sure what I'm sending them. Like, we're trying to make the distinction between abnormal and normal, and this is the only way we can get to it.
Right, and that's a really good point, I think, for young doctors too, is we don't just want to refer because there's a fine line. We don't just want to refer because we're nervous or we're not sure, but we also don't want to hold on to things and be too, cavalier. We want to practice medicine and be accurate. So sending someone to an emergency room when they don't need to that's not practicing good medicine. But also, if you should have sent them to the emergency room and you didn't, that's even worse. So you want to really know your anatomy, what you're talking about, and all of that. I just remember saying one time during residency, I said I was going to refer a patient, and my attending was like, "Why are you going to refer this patient?" And I said, "Well, just to be sure that nothing's going on." And she said, she's like, "No." She was like, "You need to have a medical reason for why you're sending this patient off to do that." And she was like, "Doctors who just send out just because they're nervous, they often don't do too well." And I was like, okay. And she wasn't telling me to hold on to things too long or, practice outside my scope or anything like that. It's just, practice to the level we're trained to practice. And
Good advice.
Yeah.
Oh, so we get to the point to where the crew, they get the old crew back together, they get the band back together. So they go down to Brazil and they start filming Anaconda, since one of the guys have the rights to Anaconda.
So he says, right. What's and I was trying to think of the other actor's name, but I think he's from Jurassic Park 3. The other guy that's in there.
Steve Zahn?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Yeah, never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. Never mind. But they get down there, and what ends up happening is the beginning scene that you had mentioned, Jacobi, the girl who was running from these people that were chasing her. She's still running from them, and she commandeers the boat without them knowing, without the crew knowing. But she takes over the boat that the crew is going to, Jack Black and their crew are going to use for filming, and she pretends to be their captain. And she doesn't really know what she's getting into. She just knows she needs to get away from the people that are chasing her. So they hop on the boat together and head upriver. And then a lot of funny things happen. Is there anything you'd mention up to this point? Because there's a real funny scene that I thought was funny.
They have everything going. The crew's together. They're filming. They have a snake handler with the Anaconda, and we're kind of touch on that in a little bit. But but up until this point, I think the premise that they're trying to go for is that we are just four friends filming something that we had the desire to do as kids, and this is kind of like a bucket list item, and it's more so for them, right? But everyone's kind of under the premise that, oh man, this could be pretty big since Buddy owns the rights to the film. So he, like you said, he says he owns.
Right, yeah. And they look like they're having a blast too.
Yeah.
They're filming at this beginning part. It looks like they're having a blast. They have all these cheesy scenes that they're filming together. There's like a little romance scene, Paul Rudd and one of the other characters. And and there's a real snake, but it's a smaller anaconda that is well trained and everything. But it does get out in the middle of the night one night, and it's just staring at Paul Rudd one night, and he gets all freaked out by it. So Paul Rudd's like really nervous about it already. And so when it comes time for his close-up with the snake, he freaks out and he throws the snake off of him, and the snake goes under the boat, and then you just see the snake's head pop up. It got severed by the propeller. And I knew that was going to happen because one of the previews. But the funniest thing was being with my wife, and she didn't know that was going to happen. And she was just like, "Oh my god!" Like as super loud in the theater. It's just the last thing you're expecting. So this is their snake. They need the snake, and it's dead. And the snake handler is super upset. And this snake was like his baby.
Right.
He had a pretty weird relationship with this snake, honestly. But yeah, so that's kind of where now things have gotten pretty. They don't have a snake, so what are they going to do now? And then they decide they're going to go out into the woods and try and find another anaconda. Is that what they did at this point?
Yeah, it seemed like that seems to be the case.
Yeah.
They need. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I remember. That's exactly right.
Yeah, they head out and they're trying to find their own anaconda, and there ends up being a real anaconda out there, but it's giant. It's massive. I mean, it's bigger than any of the anacondas in the first movie for sure. It ends up taking the snake handler, and they can't find him. They don't know what's happened.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right.
And they don't know what's happened. So they think he's gone and whatever. And then everyone is kind of like just trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then they see this big boat with like kind of a whole like pontoon or like whole like fleet of boats go by in the river. And they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And like, "We're filming Anaconda. We're filming a sequel to Anaconda." And that's where they find out that Paul Rudd doesn't actually have the rights. Right. He lied to them to get them to come down there. And so Jack Black and Paul Rudd have this little, tiff. And now the star of the show becomes the boat captain, the fake boat captain. She becomes the star of the show, basically.
Right.
And they start trying to refilm everything. But then they end up finding out that there is actually a giant anaconda out there. They find the old Anaconda cruise ships. All the filming crew is just destroyed. Everyone's dead and everything. And so they find out there's a real anaconda out there. And so now it turns into we're really trying to get away from the snake, and people are dying.
And for the audience listening, Doctor, the distinction is that this is the boat that just passed them on the river, saying that they're filming Anaconda. Right. They come across the Paul Rudd's crew and Jack Black's crew, because Paul Rudd leaves at this point. And
he gets all upset and he's gone. Yeah,
he gets upset and he leaves, and then the crew comes up upon the crew they passed in the water, and everything's just destroyed. Everything's just destroyed at that point. So they're like, maybe there is a real threat out here.
Yeah. So yeah, and then the movie kind of from there they end up somehow, I don't remember how they got there, but somehow they get into a van at some point. Like
Mhm.
they go off the water and they get into a van, and then they're getting chased by the
Right.
snake. And then they're getting chased by dudes on motorcycles. And so you think these are the bad guys, and they're trying to get the lady that's their fake boat captain.
Right.
And but what ends up happening is those are actually the police. They're like federal agents investigating her because she's running a big drug. Was it drugs that she was smuggling, or she was smuggling or gold? Right? Was she smuggling gold?
Yeah, go bar.
Yeah, yeah. So she was smuggling gold. So she ends up being the bad guy, and you kind of think she's the good guy the whole time.
Right.
So then she holds them at gunpoint. But then the snake comes, saves the day, eats her, and
Saves the day.
well, I
Well,
mean,
pretty much. Like there's this crazy
yeah.
standoff of guns being pointed at each other and freeze, don't move, and that kind of stuff. So I guess you're right that in that moment, the Anaconda is the hero.
The Anaconda gives them the chance to fight another day, right? And that brought me to our next optometry point, I think, because I think this is the first time we see someone really getting squeezed by the Anaconda.
Yeah.
Someone else might have before, but this one you really see it, and that's how anacondas kill their prey, right? They squeeze it to death, and then until it suffocates, and they swallow it. And when I saw that, I was just like, man, I bet that causes Purshur retinopathy. Purshurs, I've seen it spelled like 3 different ways, but Dr. Cleaver, can you tell us what Purshur retinopathy is?
So if I remember correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Like if there's a tremendous amount of force that would cause like some edema, or it had to be an extreme. I would say force, but extreme amount of pressure that would cause edema or swelling of the retina.
Right.
Is that correct? Yeah, is that correct?
When it's compression to the chest.
To the chest. Yeah. To the chest area, right, which will cause edema of the retina. I think it's usually unilateral, but it can be bilateral, right?
I think the ones I've seen it in bilateral. I think it often ends up being bilateral. Depends, and it's and it causes ischemia. Okay, we got to edit that out because I can't say. It causes the retina to be ischemic. Yeah, we got to edit that. It causes the retina to be ischemic. So there's a lack of oxygen getting to the retina, and you get a bunch of cotton wool spots, and you can get some hemorrhages. But you see a lot of really big cotton wool spot like. They're not actually cotton wool spots. They're a little different, but they're similar to cotton wool spots all over the retina. And it can get mistaken for a lot of things, diabetic retinopathy, hypertensive retinopathy, but it's actually from a crushing injury that happens to the chest area. And it's probably not something we'll see too much as eye care providers because most people have a crushing injury to the chest, and eye doctor is not the first person they're going to see. Right. But it does happen, and I don't know how many people have survived an anaconda attack to verify that happens during constriction from an anaconda, but I'd be willing to bet that it does happen.
Yeah, and I just kind of looked it up here, and you can also get this condition from severe head injuries or long bone fractures. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, you can. I remember that when Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I feel like I remember maybe one of my preceptors saying that they had a patient who was working as a mechanic one time, and the car, they was under the car, and the car kind of fell on them.
Oh no!
In the chest. Well, I believe the guy survived that, but they said it was a pretty stark representation of Purshur's, and and pretty young guy, healthy guy, so the diagnosis was pretty fair. Pretty easy to make at that point, but I agree with you. I think we probably won't see a lot of these because if there's an injury of that magnitude, I would imagine that they would be going to the emergency room for emergency care.
Yeah, in fact,
and that has to be seen as just kind of like part of like you do an ophthalmology consult or optometry consult. Whoever staffed in the hospital at the time or on call at the hospital at the time will come and do their version of the eye examination.
Right. Well, and to your point, I remember learning about Purshur's, and it was during my 3rd year, and the person who taught it, he had been our dean, and then he'd been promoted to another position, but he served in Iraq in the early 2000s, and he was already an optometrist when this happened. And he, if I remember it, he was like the main medical officer for his for the team he was with out there. And so he taught us one lecture on ocular trauma, and he taught us about perchers. And the time he saw it was someone had actually gotten run over by a Humvee.
Oh wow! I wasn't expecting you to say that, because Humvees, like the original Humvees, not the ones we see on the streets today, like those are massive, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't
great
even
vehicles, man. Yeah.
He said it felt, and I don't want to misquote him, but I remember him saying something to the effect that it didn't feel like he could really do much for the person. Like he looked in their eyes and said, "Yeah, that's there," but I think that the person had to get really serious medical care.
Oh yeah.
Elsewhere, yeah. So I don't think it's.
We got to save this guy's life, man. A Humvee, like, have you seen like the real Humvees, and like you'll catch an old school one on the street every now and then.
Sometimes, yeah, like there's someone who wants to drive an old war vehicle. Yeah,
they're so cool, man. To be honest with you, like the commercialized ones, they're okay, but the original Humvee, sweet. It's a money vehicle, man. It's nice.
I love stealing those on Grand Theft Auto. I don't remember which one it was, if it was San Andreas or Vice City or which one, but I remember stealing those and driving them all over. You know what's kind of a ridiculous car? And I hope they don't come for me for saying this, but have you seen the electric Hummers?
Yeah, there's a couple in my neighborhood.
Is there really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a big fan of EVs. We have one, but I was just like, if you want a Hummer, do you really want an EV? That was my thought when I thought, and then it's like the price tag is like over $100,000.
Bro, they are nice. Like, I think you have to kind of see them in person to be up next to them in traffic. They are super nice. They are super nice. I'm not sure what the charge rate is and how the distance or whatever, but they are slick looking.
Okay. All right. I'll have to see it, because my thought is, if you're going to spend $100,000 on that car, you really worried about how much you're saving on gas and like that. But no shade to anyone that might have one. I'm sure they're cool. Maybe come take me in a ride for it.
And they're massive too. Like they're really, really big vehicles. Like
they have to weigh so much with that electric battery in there. It has to weigh as much as one out in the field.
Yeah. But no, there's a really nice white one around here. And then like if you catch it at night, it looks real nice with all the lights and everything lit up on it. Yeah, it's pretty slick.
Okay. All right. Jury's still out for me. I'll have to check out. But I remember hearing that. And also Cadillac Escalade made an EV, and it was like $129,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, okay, that's what you want.
Yeah. No, and I've seen one of those the other day, and they are slick.
Were they?
I don't know, man. I like them. I like them. I hadn't jumped over to the EV side yet, but I like the idea. So we'll see.
We just got an EV we just got one for Jenny, and it's nice. It makes life so easy when you have all charging and everything at home.
As long as you're near the charging station, huh? That's another story for another day, huh, Dr. Wilson?
Oh shoot, yeah. No, I should. Yeah, but you can't, if you work on a rural reservation, don't ever rent a Tesla, because I had a rough time. I never even told you how I got out of that. I'll have to tell you another time. But yeah, I almost got stuck at about 8,000 feet elevation. It was like 20 degrees. My phone was at 0% and the car was at 0%. And I just was praying that I'd make it down the hill to the charging station.
Wow. Yeah, we got to say that. We got to say that.
There's a time and a place for EVs, and that wasn't the time or the place. So, anyways, back to the movie. A couple things happen in the movie. The funniest thing that happens after that, I don't know if we need to go like frame for frame. There's two hilarious things that happened, and one is they think Jack Black has died. Right? The snake eats him, so obviously he died, right? But then it spits him up. But then they assume he's dead. So to get away from the snake, they try to use Jack Black as bait, and they tie a dead pig that they found that the snake also spit up to the top of his head. And it's the stupidest thing, but I have not laughed that hard in so long.
It was a good funny scene.
Because Jack Black wakes up and they're just yelling at him to run. They didn't know he was going to wake up. And then the pig wakes up too, and the pig's just screaming on his head. And it was like, you know what it was like? It was like watching, I don't know, like an old Adam Sandler or like a Dumb and Dumber, like that kind of humor back in the day. Like it's just really silly, but I was just cracking up. And then I thought Jenny was going to cry so the pig actually does end up getting eaten. Jack Black is able to get the pig off of him, and the snake takes the pig and he runs away. I thought Jenny was going to cry when they took the pig. But that part cracked me up. I was dying.
Yes, and then, at this point, so Paul Rudd character's back in the fold with them.
Yeah, they're all
right. Together. And then now they're trying to escape and trying to get off, go wherever they can to be safe or whatever else. So hey, thank goodness Jack Black is alive. And so what happens at this point? It seems like they try. Is this when they try to devise a plan to get rid of the Anaconda?
They try to devise a plan, and a special guest shows up.
I was so caught off guard, right? Like it seems like I can't remember what they are, but they kind of hunker down, and it's around like a bunch of old type filming equipment, right? And
they had set up a stage, like a set.
Yeah.
Where not them, but the other, I think it was Sony. It was like well-funded studio.
Yeah,
they had another set. Yeah. And there was pyrotechnics and everything there. So they were going to try and use pyrotechnics to blow up the snake, basically.
And then, just out of nowhere, Ice Cube comes in, firing off some flare gun or something. Hey, man, this is totally random.
And it's actually Ice Cube.
It's Ice Cube, the Ice Cube. Yeah, and but it made for a good cameo and kind of like a nostalgic moment because of course he was in the original Anaconda back in '97. So it made for a good feel good moment.
Man, that's funny. We had two music artists that were the stars of that 1997 movie.
Yeah, they were big artists at the time. I think I can't remember if this was around the time Friday came out or what, but Ice Cube,
it's right around.
Kind of dabbled in movies as well as rap and hip hop and stuff too. So and he does a pretty good job at both.
Yeah, he does. And then Jennifer Lopez, the other one, she had just been in she had just done Selena, I think,
Really? Did Selena come out right before Anaconda? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Right around there. They did it around the same time, I'm pretty sure. That was I don't know. I was like 4, but I think so. So yeah, they're big.
No, Selena came out in 1997 too. Yeah.
Did it? Yeah. Okay. I knew they made the movie pretty fast after she passed away. They got it done pretty quick. So I guess they were both pretty big, but it was funny. Ice Cube, apparently they had brought him back to do a cameo in the bigger productions remake of Anaconda.
Right.
And he survived. And apparently he has all these skills where he knows how to survive an anaconda attacks because he was in the movie. So he's using flare guns. And we assume he was okay. You'd think he's going to stick with him the rest of the movie. But he's like, no, I got to go. And he just takes off. We never see
I got to go save the homies or something, he said. Okay.
He never comes back. So, but I'm guessing he seemed like he knew what he was doing. So he seems like he was all right. And then they have their plan, the pyrotechnics, there's a little bit of drama that happens, but they get it to work and they blow the snake up. Right. And so it was funny. It was cool. Is there anything else there's one more cameo at the end I'll mention, but up to that point, is there anything else?
No, that's about it. They make a movie from the footage that they have. They end up winning an award from it and they're thanking everybody. And then we get past that, and to the end of the movie, then we get the J-Lo cameo.
Right.
She comes back. Yeah, I can't remember what she said what she needed him for, but she wanted him to direct or produce a movie on her behalf.
Yeah, they were going to work on. Were they going to do another sequel or remake or something?
Maybe that's what it was.
They ended up getting Jack Black and Paul Rudd, and the crew ended up getting pretty famous because of this. They did get a lot of great film because a real snake was chasing them, and so I think they got sued by Sony, but they were still able to, have some success. out there. So that's all that shows out of the store. But no, it was funny, man. I don't know who thought about making this movie, but it seemed like such a fun thing to make. Like,
Yeah.
And I think it did. I think it paid homage to Anaconda pretty well. It wasn't making fun of Anaconda. So I don't know how many diehard Anaconda fans there are, but I thought it did a good job, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was a good, unique approach to it. Like, we're gonna go back and we friends are gonna film our version of Anaconda. And try to present it to the masses. But no, they gave some good shout outs to the original. The cameos by Ice Cube and J-Lo was a nice added touch. And overall, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it's probably something I wouldn't have watched any other way. But I'm glad that you recommended it. Well, I'm glad you told me to go watch it, and we're going to do it in an episode.
I didn't tell you had to, but yeah, I definitely. I have 3 movie, not trivia, but 3 questions for you, and I haven't given Dr. Cleaver any preparation here. I just want to hear his answers off the top of his head. So, and I'll answer them too after you do. But what's your number 1? We talked about Ice Cube being in this movie. What's your favorite rapper in a movie?
Favorite rapper in the movie?
Like real life rapper that then went and acted in a movie.
Will Smith.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But Will Smith is actor first, then rapper, right?
No, he was a rapper first.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. But he has outside.
Okay. So you want me to get rid of Will Smith then? Okay. Yeah. I can get rid of Will Smith.
He's a prolific actor. So.
Okay. All right. Who was a musician first? Who came to be an actor? All right. I would say. I don't want to say Ice Cube because that's too easy. Maybe Queen Latifah.
Okay, Queen Latifah. I know who mine is. It's LL Cool J, Deep Blue Sea.
See, man. Okay. Yeah, we could have done that.
Why not? Yeah.
No, but that's correct. That's correct. He was another. LL Cool J has definitely been able to kind of cross over. LL Cool J, Ice-T, Queen Latifah, Will Smith.
50 Cent's done a couple things.
Yeah, he's done more than a couple things. And, okay, no, that's a pretty solid list. I know I'm forgetting some, and I know the audience will call us out on that. But that's a pretty good solid list.
Okay, cool. What is your favorite creature feature of all time? So that's monsters attacking people.
Creature feature of all time. Where the villain is
some kind of animal.
Man, it's probably not my favorite of all time, but I do enjoy them. The Sharknadoes. Have you watched those?
I have all 6 of them. I think the 7th one's coming out soon, but yeah, I've seen them.
But okay, hey, bro, they're not theater masterpieces by any stretch, but
well, we have two kinds of creature features. There's ones that are just like B movie, and then there's some creature features that are big time movies, right? That everyone likes.
I would say, so Sharknado would be up there for me, and then maybe Jaws. Maybe.
Yeah. Jaws is one of those ones that's super famous. Mine would have to be. What would mine be? Mine would have to be Lake Placid. Do you remember that movie?
Now, is Lake Placid part of the Anaconda universe?
No, but here's the thing. I think Sci-Fi somehow got rights to the both movies at some point because they released like a Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, because I was doing some research and somebody on Reddit was saying that they watched all 11 films of Anaconda, but it included the Lake Placid films and stuff. But I didn't know that to be true or not. So,
well, if you take a deep dive, there's a lot of movies out there. There's like Anaconda versus Mega Shark, and then
Megalodon. Oh, Megalodon was a good one too.
No, the Meg. Yeah, I like
the Meg. Yes, the Meg was pretty good.
With Meg book, if you like reading, the Meg book is a solid book. It's from the 90s.
Is it?
Yeah.
because the Meg movie stars Jason Statham, right?
Jason Statham, yeah.
Statham. Yeah, that was pretty good. I like that.
It's cool. The movies are great. The books are cool. The books are great. There's like 6 books. The 7th one's on the way.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's like those are some of my favorites. Creature feature for you to go see. I just saw it this weekend, and my first movie of 2026 was Primate. It's all right.
Our colleague Dr. Morgan Jones has seen that as well.
I'm
gonna go check it out. I think I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah,
it's all right. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's a lot. It's rough, but I mean, I'm surprised a movie like this didn't come sooner. Because I remember I was a kid when there was some like really nationwide, like nationally famous chimpanzee attacks that happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm surprised.
Oh no, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm surprised someone didn't do this sooner. I mean, Jordan Peele. Did you see Nope a few years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a scene in there with a chimpanzee, but it's not really related to anything in the movie. Like this whole movie's about the chimpanzee, so it's decent.
Okay.
I would recommend it.
2026 was Primate, huh?
I think. Yeah. Well, I did watch in 2026. I did watch Marty Supreme, but that's gonna have to go back. That came out last year, so I don't think I can count it for my list.
Okay. So what? Oh, we have to talk about that because I hadn't seen it yet, but I know there's been some talks between that and Sinners for Movie of the Year, Actor of the Year, and that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think we did our top 10 episodes. I think it would be on that list for me, but I don't think it was going to topple any of my top 3.
Okay.
But it was good. Timothy Chalamet's pretty good. Gwyneth Paltrow's in there, and she's pretty good. It's a weird, unexpected movie you didn't think you needed to see, but it's pretty great.
Okay.
But I think at Sinners, I couldn't believe that at the Critics' Choice Awards that Timothy Chalamet won Best Actor over Michael B. Jordan and Leonardo DiCaprio. But he did a great job. But I thought those other 2 movies were.
I hear you.
And you know what? I can't remember my third question. I'll probably have to text it to you later. But I don't remember.
but that does it, man. This is our second season of the OD'ing on Movies podcast. This feature film with Anaconda. If you don't have anything, my opinion, if you don't have anything else going on and you want a couple laughs, then this is the movie for you. Check it out. It should be coming to streaming pretty soon.
If you laugh at Jack Black stuff, you'll laugh at this.
If you just are somewhat of a fan of either one of these guys, then you have to check it. It was decent, and I enjoyed it. I mean, there was a lot of laughs in there. I think the funniest part of the movie for me, which I guess Jenny didn't like it at all, was when the snake got its head cut off. It was because I wasn't expecting it either. I was like, oh,
it's so wild, Yeah, I love when movies do that, man. They just pull it out of nowhere for you. I'm gonna give it we got to get back to our rankings. I'm gonna give it 6.5 eyes out of 10.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's where I'd put it at. But
it's I give it. I can't give any more to it or take anything away from it. So I agree with you 100%.
Right, and that's only the comedy aspect that even gets it that high because it's not a real serious movie, so we can't really throw it up there with some of the masterpieces we've seen. But
correct. But no, man, we're looking forward to having building up on season 1 with season 2. You guys. Let us know what you think. You have any movies in mind? You think you may want to possibly be a guest on the pod? Reach out to us. Let us know. Jacob, any parting words for our first episode of season 2?
No, not really. Just that I'm excited and we have some really fun guests lined up. So go out there, watch the movie so you can keep up with us too. By the way, okay, I do have a parting word because I just learned about it today. Not only does AMC have their movie pass, which I have, they now have a popcorn pass. Where you pay $29.99 once and you get unlimited popcorn for the year.
For real?
For real.
Bro, that would pay for itself within 2 visits.
Yeah. I'm going to go get signed up like tomorrow, next time I go watch a movie. So,
man, there's just no AMC close to me. I wish there was one closer to me, but I may have to just make the sacrifice.
You got to move out to LA, man. This is where all the movie stars are anyways.
Well, man, I mean, none bigger than our own Dr. Jacob Wilson. Hey, Yeah, baby. Yeah, we need you to start rubbing some elbows out there, man. Get us into the Grammy parties. I mean, the Emmys and all that kind of stuff.
All right, I'll see what I can do. I just be ready with some bail money if I end up.
Well, your wife's the lawyer, man. So
all right, she's all right. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, but all right, yeah, I'm looking forward to this season.
For sure. But cool, man. We'll catch you guys on the next episode, and thanks for joining us for this one. And we'll see you soon.
All right, see ya. All right, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't miss the sequel. Get your eyes checked.